In this video, we are going to talk about a DAX function, which is sum. So let's get started. So as you all know, sum function is a basic aggregation function that adds up the value in a column. Okay. So as you all know, we use sum function to add up the value in a given column. Okay. So if I want to, look at the total of a column, we can use sum function. Okay. So in Power BI, to use sum function is very simple. The syntax to use sum function is just typing sum and then giving the column name. Okay, that is what the syntax is in Power BI to use the sum function. So let us take an example how we can use this sum function in Power BI. So suppose you have a table name sales with a column which says total sales and total gross sales, and you want to find the total sales and the total gross sales. Okay, so let's go to the Power BI desktop and see how we can use this sum function. So I am into Power BI desktop, and you can see that there are two tables associated to this exercise. One is your sample data. That sample data is the pre-built data which already exists in Power BI. And the second one is your sales table. Let me go and click on table view to show you how this table looks like. We will be working with the sales table. Okay. So the sales table contains 7 columns and almost 25 rows. Okay. So you can see there is a column which says total sales and there is another column which says total gross sale. Okay. Now what I want to do is just get the total of this two columns. Okay. So to get this total of two columns, what I can do is I can just directly drag that column to a visual. Okay. Let me convert this into a card visual so that, it is easy for us to understand. Okay. So you can see I got this total sales by just dragging the column directly. Okay. Similarly, I'll go and click the total gross sale. I'll just convert this into the card visual again. And here I go. I get the total gross sale as well by just dragging that column into a card visual. Okay. But every time I cannot go and do this. Okay. Now the data set is very less. So yes, you will be able to do it and get the required output. However, if your data set is huge, then what we can do is create some measures and drag that into the visualization that we are working with. Okay. So in this case, what we will do is we will use sum function to get the total sales and total gross sale. So to do so, what we will have to do is just click on new measure. So once I click on a new measure, it is asking me to write my measure. Let me just increase the size for you. Okay, let me rename this measure as total sales equals to, let's use the function sum. Now what this sum function does is it adds all the number in the column. So which column we are referring? We are referring to sales table and we are referring to the total sales column. Okay, let's close this bracket and commit to this formula. So once I commit to this formula, you can see a measure has been created with the name as total sales. And let me bring that measure into a card visual. Okay, let me bring this here and let me take this total sales. And you can see I get the same number by just aggregating the total sales column as a measure in Power BI. Okay, similarly, now let us go and calculate the gross sales. Okay. To do so, what we will do is again click on new measure. Let us rename this measure as total gross sales equals to, let me use a function which says sum, and let us use the column which says total gross sales. Close the bracket and commit to this formula. So once you commit to this formula, you can see a measure has been created which says total gross sale, and let me bring that total gross sale into a card visual again. Let me click on the card visual and you can see the total gross sales. Okay. Now let us take one more example. I want to, add up the total sales as well as total gross sales and get the total value. Okay. So to do so again, let's click on new measure. Okay. Let us rename this as total sales plus total gross sales equals to, There are two ways to do it. Okay. Now let us see the very simplest way. How we can do is, the very first and the simplest way is just take the measures that you have created for total sales and total gross sales. Let's see this. Take this as total sales plus total gross sales. Just commit to the formula and you will get the required output. Okay, so you can see here total sales plus total gross sales measure has been created. So let us bring this total gross sales and total sales into a card visual. Let me take a card visual and bring that here. So you can see what it has done is it has added up the total sales as well as total gross sales and given you the output. Okay, this is the very first way, or this is the simplest way that you can use to add up the total. Okay, if you have a measures that is already created. What if I do not have a measure that is created? So how we can add up this value? Okay, so what we will do is again just click on new measure. So let us rename this as total sales plus total gross sale new equals to, okay. Now, as we said, if we do not have a measures that are created, how we can do this? By just typing up sum and taking the total sales column, closing the bracket, plus adding up another column which is sum and total gross sales. Okay, just close the bracket, commit to the formula and you will get the required output. Okay, so you can see a total sales plus total gross sale new measure has been created. Let's bring that into a card visual and you will get the required output by just adding up the both columns. Okay, so this is a very simple DAX function to practice with. This is the aggregated function which is commonly used whenever working with your Power BI reports, dashboards or your projects. Okay, so yes, that's all about it in today's video. Hope you like this video. Please comment below and subscribe to our channel. Have a great day.